Hello everybody, welcome to Talk About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
So we are going to talk about some signs that the real estate market is starting to cool off a little bit in Las Vegas. So the first thing we're going to go to is we're going to start with empirical data. This is data from Altos Research, and then we're going to talk about the other stuff that is sort of circumstantial or that we have sort of come across, that we're seeing. Okay, so the first thing we're talking about is median list price. List price is a forward-looking thing. So when we see the list price here on this chart, we can see it's starting to taper off. That's a good sign. And if list prices keep going up, that means there's still this demand and homes are selling quickly. People sell that, so the next person that comes to list the house wants a little more, right? Because they think they can get it. They keep doing that. That's starting to settle down. The other thing is inventory. Usually an increase in inventory is what helps cause that, right?
Right.
And what do we see? Inventory has increased over the last summer, really over the last 3 months. We've gone from less than 2,000 houses to, almost 3,000 houses on the market. It's still not anywhere where the market would need to be to tank, which basically would have to be like over 10,000 at this point. Right? Anything under 5,000 or 6,000 is totally healthy market for Las Vegas. Only single family homes, not townhomes, condos, things like that. Okay. All right. So this is empirical evidence that the market is starting to chill out a little, get a normal market. Now, Juana has come across some other stuff.
Yes.
As some of you know, she has been out there dealing with people in new homes.
Right. So, it was interesting because last year realtors were, they were sought after by the builders and they were marketing to us and we were acceptable company. And by late spring, builders decided that they didn't need us anymore. And there were builders that decided that they wouldn't pay realtors at all, or they cut realtor fees a little or a lot. And so it was that sort of a thing going on in the spring and in the summer. And of course, in the spring and in the summer, there was no inventory. There were waiting lists for homes. There were lotteries for homes. It was really kind of chaotic, and it was really very discouraging and stressful for buyers, to be honest with you, when it came to purchasing new construction. So over the last, I would say 6 weeks or so, realtors have regained some of their standing with builders. Guess what? They're marketing to us again. They're sending us the Holy Grail, standing inventory. Can you believe it? So we've gone from, we have 65 buyers for every house to we have standing inventory ready to go. Bring your buyers. We love you again. And then to top that off, now we're seeing that they want to pay us again. Not quite what they used to pay, maybe a year and a half ago, but they're starting to want to pay us again, which tells me that buyers are going to have an easier time with a builder right now because there's some standing inventory, maybe even getting some upgrades in
appliances
there.
Or something.
Maybe some appliances or some sort of upgrades from the builder for
maybe
a discounted
waive a lot
price.
Premium or something.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Maybe not.
I wouldn't go that far because Vegas is known for really crazy lot premiums, as much as a third of your purchase price being a lot premium. But, maybe some electrical package, maybe some a paver patio or something in there, thrown in there to make it a little sweeter for the buyer. And like I said, and they're starting to pay realtors again, which is nice because I think that builders realize that realtors do positively influence buyers as far as where they say, hey, look, this is an up-and-coming area, this is an area you should consider, and that sort of thing, particularly when it comes to new home construction. And I think that builders do realize that realtors bring other benefits to the table by being able to advise buyers and help buyers make good choices. And I think this is a good thing. It's a healthy thing, not just because it's in my interest to make a living with buyers, but I think it's healthy for buyers too, when they have somebody on their side. Because look, when a buyer walks into a new home construction site, Who does that salesperson work for? They work for the builder. They don't work for the buyer. The buyer is in there kind of swimming with the sharks, so to speak, without anybody having their back. If they have an agent that represents them, then there's somebody in there who can help them negotiate, who can help explain the process, who can help guide them through the whole thing. Remember, the person that's working for the builder is looking out for the builder, not for the buyer. No matter how nice they are, no matter how friendly they are, and no matter how much they make you feel like they're on your side, their paycheck comes from the builder.
So what's interesting is that a lot of investor buyers tend to want to purchase resale homes because they're less expensive and they can get more rent. Mm-hmm. But what happened was a lot of investor buyers ended up over at the new home subdivisions. What was interesting this time around, so 2004 and 5, the last time we had this, many subdivisions did not allow investors. Mm-hmm. Now, investors would buy anyway. Mm-hmm. And they would say, well, you can't rent in here. And they'd say, that's okay, I'm going to live there. And then 9 months later, when the house was completed, they would put it on the market and sell it. Mm-hmm. So they didn't ever have a tenant in it. Matter of fact, they left the house vacant. But what they did was they just banked on the market going up. And they won until about the end of 2005, beginning 2006, they started losing. But if you did it from 03 to 05, you made a killing. Like if you literally could go back in time, you go back to 2003, buy a ton, get as many hundred contracts or houses under contract as you could at new home subdivisions, right? For $2,500, because a lot of them just had to put $2,500 down. Go get qualified for loan, all that stuff, and get all the lenders lined up in the world to give you these loans. And then as soon as you closed it, you had it on the MLS the next day, and you had to sell it as fast as possible, so you could go out and because you had all these other houses that were going to close, and you were going to have mortgage payments coming up, right? That was sort of a sweet thing, and some people did that, made a lot of money, but some people did that and got caught with a bunch of houses, right? But the thing is that the builders now don't care. They don't care for the most part if you're an investor, and many of the subdivisions say, oh yeah, we have no problem with people who want to have rentals in here. And then we found one subdivision that I think 3/4 of the people were, weren't they?
I'm aware of at least one subdivision where the entire subdivision was purchased by an investment group and turned the entire subdivision into rentals.
But a regular one that was purchased, investors came in and bought it up, and then most of the units ended up being rental houses.
Right.
Like they didn't care. They were just like, hey, if you got the money and buy the house. Because they own the HOA, and at this point they don't want to shut people out. They just want as many people buying. Anyway, the whole point of this is that these signs, like anecdotal, but they're signs of what's to come, because remember, the builders can see ahead of time what their closings look like before anyone finds out. So when they start reaching out to agents going, hey, we're going to give an $8,000 bonus now if you bring somebody in the next, October. It's $8,000 bonus if you bring somebody in October and buy a house or whatever. We weren't paying you 6 months ago, but now we're going to pay $1,000 flat fee or whatever. It's kind of a sign that they need agents, that it's slowed down for them. Mm-hmm. And when it's slowed down for them, they get more competitive. Mm-hmm. They stop having price reductions every 3 houses that they put out. Right. And they sit on some inventory a little longer. Mm-hmm. And that's actually kind of probably healthy.
Right.
Right.
Right. It's good for it's certainly good for the buyers, right? Because now they're able to have some choices, and they're not, if you will, forced into maybe a house that they don't love, but it's the only house they could get. So buyers have more choices, and maybe, like I said, maybe they get some little freebies thrown in there by the builder, which is always nice. All
right. So we just wanted to do a quick video on some signs that we see that maybe the market here in Las Vegas is cooling off a little bit. We have a whole bunch of videos about the market and what's going on in Vegas. We just did a market update. You can go watch that for October of 2021. Thank you very much for the people who watch the videos regularly. We make them for you guys because we know that you want to be informed, and we just can't call everybody because we don't have enough time. So anyway, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave us comments, and share the video.
See you on the next video.
Bye.
Bye.